Hey guys, how you doing? 420 Scene here, back at it again with another video. Be sure to drop that fat like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Join our Patreon for one-on-one grow help with me, smoke sesh live streams, and get exclusive access to our VIP Discord community. Link is going to be right down below in the description and the pinned comment, but the first comment that you see by me in the comment section, so you're going to have to expand the pinned message. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Gaia Green living soil, since you guys seem to really like the Fox Farm Ocean Forest breakdown that I did last week, and I started experimenting and playing around with Gaia Green living soil the last couple of months since my shop started carrying it, and I'm still running my down the earth super soil mix, but I figured I would try the Gaia Green living soil with my seedlings and carry them through early veg. So let me give you my experience using this soil, and then we're going to go over all the amendments that are in it and see how good of a mix this really is. Also, real quick, be sure to follow us on Twitch if you want to hang out, smoke up with me and chat. I play a lot of Call of Duty Zombies and Dead by Daylight, and if you have Amazon Prime and want to show some further support at no cost at all, drop your free Twitch Prime subscription. It really helps out the channel. Plus, I mean, it's free. You can't go wrong there, right? You just go to my channel, hit the subscribe button, and you'll never have to worry about sitting through any ads like ever. So if you start using the Gaia Green living soil, you don't need to add anything at all to it. Like, it's just rock solid to use for seedlings. I haven't got any burn on my seedlings, and when I transplanted, there is some mushroom activity around the side, like where the walls are, which tells me there's a lot of kick-ass microbiology and a good solid ecosystem. So it's really a plug and play kind of soil. If you're a beginner or someone that struggles with the seedling stage, I highly recommend the Gaia Green living soil. Your leaves are going to look nice and green for the seedling stage and early veg without any kind of yellowing, no toxicity, so the nitrogen levels seem to be pretty on point. So I'm personally happy with the results that I got with the Gaia Green living soils. Let's talk about it a little bit more. Real quick, Gaia Green did not sponsor this video. Those of you that have been watching my videos over the last couple of years already know that, listen, all right, I'm gonna say whatever the fuck I want when I want. Just call me the Sid Vicious of the Canna world. So now let's talk about what's all in Gaia Green living soil. They have worm castings, glacial rock dust, dolomite, feather meal, alfalfa meal, a bone meal, rock phosphate, blood meal, fish bone meal, insect frass, potassium sulfate, basalt rock dust, humic acid, gypsum, kelp meal, oyster shell, and green sand. So in other words, that's a lot of shit. Okay, way more stuff than what's in the ocean forest that we talked about last week. So let's go over each amendment, what it does, what it's for, stuff like that. Now, there's some stuff that you probably never heard of, some stuff I've never even used, but I'm going to kind of explain to you what all is in it, so that way you have a good idea of what to expect when you start using your Gaia Green living soil. All right, I think the first one, besides the worm cast, you guys already know what the worm castings are, right? Helps ration out the nutrition in between top dresses. If you want a further explanation on the worm castings, go watch the Fox Farm Ocean Forest breakdown video. Literally the last video that I did, I go over the worm castings a little bit more. So the glacial rock dust is pretty much another version of worm castings as far as what it does. It improves soil health and helps with the slow release of your nutrients, so it just helps ration everything out, giving your plants a nice even diet. Dolomite helps buffer out the soil's pH, so if your pH is a little bit off when you water, it's gonna get it to where it needs to be. So if you're a lazy grower, I most likely got your attention by now, right? Next up is feather meal. All right, so this is my only issue. I wouldn't put feather meal and blood meal together, or it's just too much nitrogen, but Gaia Green must have split the blood meal and feather meal, or there just would have been way too much nitrogen going on. That's what I'm saying. The fact that I didn't get any burn on the seedlings shows me that they probably split up those, you know, because you wouldn't be given a ton of blood meal and then a ton of feather meal. I mean, it would just be way too fucking much. Personally, I would rather have one or the other. Anything after that, it's just kind of like busy work, you know what I'm saying? Now, it's true feather meal, it does help with the slow release, but you already have the worm castings and the glacial rock dust, so I mean, it's kind of whatever. It's more of a luxury. A luxury as far as splitting both the feather meal with the blood meal, so that, you know, you don't need to do both. Next is alfalfa meal. Now, I use down the earth's version of alfalfa meal, and I like it because it helps your roots uptake the other nutrients that you're giving them. So look up the alfalfa meal on Down the Earth's website, or just like Amazon or whatnot, and look at the NPK ratio. You're really only trying to use it not for the nutrition per se, but for the nutritional uptake through your root system, like all the other stuff that you're giving them. So it's a must-have. So good on Gaia Green for implementing alfalfa meal into their mix. That's a thumbs up right there. All right, next, bone meal meal, fish bone meal, and rock phosphate. They are all phosphorus-based boosters. Now again, I wouldn't have all three in there personally. I would use either the bone meal or the fish bone meal. If you do have a strong nitrogen base, I would go with bone meal, but if you're good on nitrogen, like if you throw in insect-fed bat guano, which is pretty high in nitrogen, then just go with the bone meal as it has a lesser level of nitrogen and higher in phosphorus. And it would be like the perfect balance, but having rock phosphate, bone meal, and fish bone meal, it's a little bit overkill. That's why, like I said before, I feel like they took 3 of those amendments and just kind of split it 1/3 of whatever they're going to be using, instead of just going with bone meal as your phosphorus base or fish bone meal, like all in one. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I think they split those 3 amendments, because it would just be way too much phosphorus otherwise. Next is potassium sulfate. This is pretty much like using langbionite. But hold on, I'm not saying potassium sulfate is langbionite. The only difference is langbionite does have magnesium, but if you're planning on using blackstrap molasses or Recharge by Real Growers, which already has blackstrap molasses in it, the potassium sulfate that Gaia Green has in their living soil is gonna be perfectly fine. So hey, you got your potassium right there. Another good form of sulfur and magnesium is Epsom salt, which is a naturally mined mineral, so don't even argue about the organics on that. That's a whole other thing, a whole other conversation. Gaia Green Living Soil also has oyster shell, which is pretty much like using crab meal or eggshells. It's your calcium main. There's also humic acid, which is in most, if not all, loamy soils out there, or loamy mediums out there. If you don't know what loamy soil is, it's pretty much just light and fluffy, airy soil that your plants just prefer. So if you ever hear me using loamy soil, or you hear anybody else talking about loamy soil, that's pretty much it. It's just really healthy, loose soil. So if you have humic acid, you have super healthy soil. It just improves with the water retention and root development, kind of like what kelp meal does, having more nutrient availability, shit like that. Next is going to be gypsum and green sand. I personally have not used either of those, but gypsum does have calcium and it helps soil health. It's more of a luxury than a necessity. You have a lot of stuff that helps improve soil health, so I don't think gypsum is absolutely totally needed, but it's good to have as a backup plan if you don't have crab meal or oyster shell at your local shop. It's a solid alternative. And lastly, there's green sand, which has some potassium and iron, but iron is already in your water, more of a slow release, more of a luxury type of thing, not really something you absolutely need to have. Like if you've seen my Down to Earth Super Soil Mix, I kind of just break things down like really easy. There's not like 10 or 15 different amendments in there. So green sand is nice to have, but there are other ways to counter it if your shop doesn't have green sand. It's not a necessity to have, I don't think. So Gaia Green does have a lot of good stuff, a little bit overboard with the phosphorus amendments, but in flower, that could actually be pretty damn good as your plants intake a ton more. But at the same time, I didn't get nutrient burn, so I'm thinking Gaia Green, what they did was they split a lot of the different amendments that do similar stuff. Now the Gaia Green Living Soil, it's like a premium mix, all right, that focuses a lot on maintaining soil health, nutrient uptake, and having an abundance of microbiology. It's a little bit more expensive than other soils, but that's also because of how much different amendments that are in there. It's a pretty well-balanced soil mix, as long as they are lowering the ratio of similar macro-based amendments, which is what I think they are doing, especially if I never got nutrient burn personally, even on the seedlings. So I would give the Gaia Green Living Soil a thumbs up. Like when I was talking about earlier, the feather meal and blood meal, they both do the same thing. They must have split that up, and the same thing goes with the rock phosphate, the bone meal, and the fish bone meal. You don't need to have all 3 in there. I did notice that they do not have bat guano, which is something I highly recommend. Of course, if you want me to make a video talking about the different types of bat guano, like the insect fed versus the fruit fed, there are 2 different kind of bat guanos in there. It would be a good video for me to talk about, so that way you don't get anything confused. And also let me know if you want me to make a video talking about the different alternatives that you can use to kind of change up your super soil mix based on what you have in your shop. I think that would be a pretty important video, so let me know in the comment section if you want anything like that. Also, I did forget to mention you can top dress 5 weeks after your initial mix using the Gaia Green Living Soil. And if there's anything that I missed, or you want to share your experiences using it, questions you might have had, drop it in the comment section below. Maybe we'll use it like on a Q&A video or something like that. Also, be sure to stay up to date, because I will be dropping a Q&A post within maybe the next week or so keep an eye on that in the community section. Before I close off today's video, I want to thank everyone on screen who's been supporting us on Patreon. And for only $11.99 a month, month, you get instant access to our VIP Discord community, unlimited one-on-ones with me, and Smoke Sess live streams, and it just really helps us out a lot. And to everyone else, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell. And also be sure to follow us over on Twitch. We go live Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. until 6 p.m. currently. And I hope everyone has a great rest of their day. And as always, stay safe. Peace.